is usually a product of, someone else's influence. So for you, like, who has been that influence in your life, who has, molded the person that you are right now, or the person you want to become?
I think the person that's really molded me into who I want, I'll have to say my dad. So for the longest time, I wanted to be a lawyer. Because, I was a debater, and, in high school, they're like, debaters make great lawyers. I wanted to be a lawyer so bad, because my dad, that was his passion as well. And
Is he a lawyer?
no, he did political science.
Okay.
But, those were his aspirations. And I want to say that, like, even growing up, my dad always used to prioritize the importance of education. Even my mother as well. Because, she made both of them, they made so many sacrifices so I could realize my dreams. So I think I would say my dad, because he's really in academia like that. He's always reading. And I was like, I want to be like that. I don't want to be, just an airhead.
Okay.
I want to have like a constructive conversation with someone about, about economics, about finance, about world issues.
Okay, interesting. And this is a general saying. People say that daughters usually take after their fathers, and sons usually take after their moms. Like, how accurate do you think that is?
I think it is very accurate, because a mother and a son always have like a soft relationship. The dad and his daughter also have that soft relationship. Because with girls and their mothers, right, it's more like to your mother, you're looking for guidance, how to be a proper wife, how to be, you know what I mean. But like with your dad, it's like the dad is always like, he's like the good cop, the mom is the bad cop. And to sons, the dad is the bad cop, the mom is the good cop.
Okay.
So that's why they tend to take after the good cop.
And it's interesting because it works, it's a balance.
Yeah.
A balance. All right. Speaking about parents, let's take a shift, let's switch lanes a little bit. What's your take on the current state of relationships, be it dating, be it marriages? Because we're noticing that, of course, generations are changing. Like, the way that our parents did it isn't really the way that we're doing it. Do you agree on that, or?
I agree.
You agree? In what ways, though? Like, what's going on? How are we different from them, and how is it affecting our relationships?
Okay, I'll tell you what my mom told me. She said that back in the day, courtship was a bit different, not a bit, a whole lot different than it is now. Say that, courtship was genuine. And literally someone could court you for like 6 months non-stop. Just so, you could give them love. But nowadays, it's like, I meet you today, by Tuesday, we're in a relationship. That's how it is. There's no that genuinity. There's no that getting to know each other. Everything is just rushed, because that's the culture now. Everything is just rushed. So that's why those relationships never end up working out, because 6 months down the line, you start to learn who the person is, and you're like, I can't be with a person like this.
Okay, understood. From what you said, I gathered that today's relationships lack mystery. Like, there's no mystery.
They lack
foundation. Because even if you go on social media, right, I can see that, there's this girl that I like, right? And then I ask my friends, what's her name? And then I see your Instagram account, I'm scrolling. Like, I already know what you're into. Like, back in the day, I would have to go and ask you, like, it was a mystery.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you could have asked
this.
Nice. Yeah, but right now everything is right there. It's on our phones, it's everywhere. It's on the internet, it's everywhere. So yeah, I get that. But can this be maybe used to build relationships instead of destroying them? Because at the end of the day, technology, even the pace that we're moving today, we did that intentionally so that we can, do more things, we can cover more ground.
Yeah,
so is is there a way that we can do that instead of letting it destroy us?
Here's the thing, it's not, yes, it is social media that also contributes to, why relationships aren't working out now. But what you're talking about how like, you like to know what a person likes, who they are before you approach them. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is like, you won't ever know everything about me on social media because women tend to sell a false image on social media. So you can see maybe a girl on social media maybe posting, always at a club, I'm not saying it's bad, but posting, always at a club, always drinking, chugging down savannas, and like you see that and you're like, oh, this one's for the streets. But then in reality, it's different. It's the same as, girls are always posting Bible verses, like, her whole Instagram is aesthetic, it's the Bible, it's church girl, woman of God, praying woman. But then, in real life, she's the exact opposite. So I feel like as much as, yes, you can gather information off that page, don't judge her by that page. Like, actually take time. Because the issue is men are not taking time because they believe that everything is a competition, right? The saying, it says, good boys finish last, something like that. That if you want to be good and take your time, like, you won't win, because like other people will come and snatch your girl. So yeah.
Okay, but if you guys know that guys these days are using this information that is readily available to them, if you know that this is what people are judging us from, why not just show the real you? Like, why do you have to, sell a false image? Why?
Because no one ever likes to, make themselves that vulnerable on social media, number one. Number two, social media, it's not a touchline. It's not a hunting ground for boys. It's literally women saying, yeah, I know, it kind of is. But then the point is, the reason why women sell a false narrative is because they feel like the real them it's a privilege to know the real them, and it's a privilege you have to earn. I'm being for real. Yeah, it's a privilege you have to earn. Well, it is true. It's a privilege you have to earn it. Not everyone gets access to your personal life. Not everyone gets access to knowing the real you. So if you want to know me, then you're going to have to come correct.
Okay, interesting. I learned something new over there.
Yeah.
Yep, I did. Okay, so talking about social media and relationships, right? What do you think is gonna, since we're at this point, right? Do you think that it's gonna get worse in the future, or it's gonna get better? Like, what do you think is gonna happen, like 50 years from now?
Well, I cannot. Well, I don't know, but it's either it goes well, like it's people change because people can change, or it gets worse, or it stays the same. I can't predict it, but there's either it stays the same, it goes worse, or does a complete 360 and turns around.
All right. The reason why I asked that is because they usually say that there's nothing new under the sun, and things usually tend to repeat themselves in a cycle. It's actually in the Bible, which is a great introductory line to my second topic of discussion, which is religion. Are you religious?
Yes, I am.
Christian? You're a Christian?
Yeah.
Since when?
Since I was born.
Really?
Yeah.
So was it like your choice, or it's something that you were born into?
Well, I was born into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, alright, ever since you were born into it, like, have you reached a point where you kind of questioned whether you walked into the right house? What was that like?
Here's the thing, here's what I believe about Christianity. If you haven't reached a point of questioning, then I don't think in a way you're not true to yourself. Because before you get baptized, before you accept God,
Mm.
you have to reach a point of questioning. That's how it goes. Because blind faith isn't proper faith. You have to like get into it fully aware. So if you're not questioning, something's wrong.
Okay.
You have to reach a point of questioning
Mm.
and then getting answers to those questions. Then you're like, okay, I'm at the right place.
But what led to you know, because usually when you question something, that's usually an effect of a certain cause. So what caused you to question, you know, your faith or Christianity?
Well, I can say life's tragedies, you know, we all lose people down the road, and you know, you'll be asking yourself that, you know, if there is a higher being, why would he let this happen to me if he claims to love me?
All right. You know, the reason why I'm talking about this, a lot of people don't really want to talk about it because, you know, it's something that we inherit, you know, from our, you know, parents, you know, and it's something that we're taught even in our educational system, right?
Yeah.
Which is something I also want to talk to you about. Like, do you think that our educational system can improve? Like, judging from how you guys are learning, you know, at UZ, judging from how you learned, you know, at girls' college and even before, like, how do you think, like, what's your take on our current educational system?
Well, I do believe that our education system can change. Like, I feel like with most schools, there needs to start, they need to start a prioritization of quality education over
What
profit.
does that look like? What does quality
Quality education is putting the child first, putting the child's education
Don't they
first.
do that already?
Well, I'm an exit. I haven't been going to school for about almost 6 weeks now because
Okay.
there are no lectures being conducted because our lecturers are on strike. To me, that is a clear example